Hello, and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 617. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Kenner Toys DC Universe Superman Animated Series Aerial Assault Armor Supergirl Vintage Action Figure. Rocketed from the planet Krypton as a child, Superman was raised as Clark Kent in Smallville, Kansas. He grew up to be the best and most powerful superhero on Earth. Later, joined by his cousin, Kara, he fights alongside her as Supergirl. In the mid-90s, the cartoon show Superman the Animated Series was a hit on the Cartoon Network. Kenner produced a line of action figures from this TV show, with sculpting so good they look as if they jumped right off the TV screen. Now you can relive those years, starting with Supergirl. This vintage Supergirl action figure was inspired directly from the animated series Superman. This 5-inch scaled action figure features the vintage 5 points of articulation for posing and displaying in your DC Vintage collection. Plus, the assault armor is removable, and it also includes 2 fireable projectiles for added play. This mint-on card set includes the Supergirl action figure, snap-on aerial assault armor, and 2 firing projectile weapons. This figure was released in 1998 by Kenner Toys. Now, the comic of the day is once again Superman, Volume 1, issue number 282, with the cover date of December 1974. This issue contained 2 stories, and today I'm covering the second story by Martin Pasco, with art by Ernie Chan, and cover by Nick Cardy. This story is titled The Loneliest Man in the Universe. The story opens with Supergirl telling Superman that she's been thinking about giving up her Supergirl identity to live the life of an ordinary woman with a husband and children. Just normal. To illustrate that she might feel differently later on if she makes that choice, Superman tells her the story of Nam-Ek, the loneliest man in the universe. Superman tells Supergirl that Nam lived 500 years before Krypton's explosion. He ended up killing 2 Rondors for their curative horns. Native to the Scarlet Jungles on Krypton, Rondors were a foul-smelling, purple-skinned, bovine-like beast, whose single horn radiated healing properties. Nam-Ek, after killing the 2 Rondors, extracted a serum from them to make himself immortal. But, since slaying a Rondor was illegal, Nam-Ek became a fugitive from justice and fled to the ancient Zan City. Drinking the serum from the horns, Nam-Ek transformed himself into a hideous, smelly, human Rondor with a curative horn growing from his forehead. Now learning that he was immortal and invulnerable, Nam-Ek worked in solitude for 5 full centuries, only to learn that he needed companionship. Unfortunately, since he was smelly and ugly, nobody wanted to get within throwing distance of him, and everyone drove him away, even though he believed he'd cured Virus X, the Kryptonian version of leprosy. Just as Nam-Ek sought out another Rondor in hopes of changing himself back to normal, Krypton suddenly exploded. Nam-Ek found himself floating in lifeless space, alone forever. Thus, Superman cautions his cousin about the dangers of getting one's wishes fulfilled. He doesn't tell her how he knew of Nam-Ek, but she admits that she now has some heavy thinking to do. These stories are continued in Superman, issue number 283. Geek Fact. As mentioned in the previous episode, this is a key issue, being the first appearance of Lex Luthor's green and purple battle array costume from Story 1. Bonus Geek Fact. Years after Krypton's destruction, Nam-Ek was found by the space pirate, Amalak, which explains how Superman knew the story. But after a subsequent confrontation with Nam-Ek on Earth, Superman and Supergirl imprisoned him in the Phantom Zone because Superman believed Nam-Ek to be dangerously insane, while also possessing Kryptonian superpowers and immortality. Advertising ad fact.
New endangered animals by Rebel. Big action models that are easy to assemble with no glue needed. Just snap the pieces together. Rebel's new endangered animal models are big fun-filled kits that capture all the action and fury of the real animals. Huge, powerful creatures that once feared nothing, but now struggle for their very survival. Rebel's snap-together endangered animal models all have movable parts, so your collection of these beasts from the wild aren't going to just sit on the shelf. You can use them to create your own adventures anytime.
From Africa comes the gigantic mountain gorilla. These apes have the strength of 3 men. Then we have the endangered Komodo dragon. These monsters can devour a 40-pound prey in 15 minutes. And includes a macaque monkey figure, one of the dragon's favorite meals. Then, the endangered condor. The high mountain ranges of Central California. Last stand of America's largest soaring bird, the condor. And finally, the endangered rhino, the second largest land mammal in the world, and comes with environmental display base.
You can get Rebel's endangered animal models wherever hobbies and toys are sold. Check them out, only from Rebel.
And final geek fact. Kara Zor-El, also known as Supergirl, and Linda Lee Danvers, is a Kryptonian superhero based in Midvale and later in places such as San Francisco, New Athens, and Chicago. She's the cousin of Superman and for a long time served as his secret weapon. Kara Zor-El was the last survivor of Argo City of the planet Krypton, which had survived the explosion of the planet and had been drifting through space. But when she was 15, a meteor shower pierced the city's protection, and the Kryptonians began dying of radiation poisoning. After her mother, Allura, watched the Earth with a super telescope, and a Kryptonian living there, Kara was sent to Earth by her parents to be raised by her cousin, Kal-El, known as Superman. So Superman would know Kara was his cousin. Her parents provided a costume based closely on the Man of Steel's. Upon meeting Kara, Superman decided that she would become his secret weapon, and explained that her presence on Earth must be kept confidential, while he trained Kara in the use of her new powers. Kara adopted the identity of Linda Lee, an orphan at Midvale Orphanage, hiding her blonde locks beneath a brunette wig. During this period, and for 2 full years, Linda interacted with humans mainly on a person-to-person basis, performing good super deeds on a save-the-world, one-at-a-time ratio, using clever schemes while trying to avoid becoming adopted before her time came. This ended up being a distant precursor for her worldwide, even galaxy-wide fame that was to come soon. As Superman's confidence in Kara grew, through a string of circumstances, she came to learn Superman's dual identity, but proved worthy of the name Supergirl by keeping Clark's private life a secret. At one point, Kara tried to build her very own fortress beneath an Arab desert. Unfortunately, her shelter was found by a greedy archaeologist who tried to blackmail her into working for him and his wife, forcing Kara to destroy her own fortress after Streaky, her super cat, wiped the blackmailer's memories. During her time at the orphanage, Kara was visited by Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, and Saturn Girl, who admired her just as much as her cousin, and looked to induct her into the Legion of Superheroes. Both Supergirl and Brainiac 5 ended up passing the tests and became Legionnaires. Kara and Cal revealed her secret identity to her adoptive parents, and then Superman publicly unveiled his cousin to the world on February 20th, 1962. Her final appearance was her death in Crisis on Infinite Earths, issue number 7, with the cover date of October 1985. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again Thursday. This is Cut Fan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.